The landscape at the Rams facility is shifting beneath our feet faster than anyone anticipated. We are tracking a series of high-stakes personnel moves that strike at the heart of the team's championship identity. From the departure of a vital Super Bowl contributor to the aggressive pursuit of a new defensive anchor, the front office is clearly signaling a new direction. We are also looking into a significant shift in the secondary that you need to know about right now. Let's break down exactly what this means for the upcoming season.
The news cycle in the NFL waits for no one, and the Rams are currently navigating the harsh realities of the salary cap era. Losing a player who was a pivotal part of a Super Bowl winning roster is never easy, but it is the reality of the business. When we look at the personnel losses heading into this cycle, the focus often shifts to the front office decisions that prioritize long-term sustainability over individual loyalty. Sean McVay has always been a coach who emphasizes the next man up mentality, but that does not diminish the impact of seeing a championship-tested veteran exit the building for a new opportunity in the AFC East. This move is emblematic of the current league-wide trend, where teams are forced to make cold, calculated decisions to manage their resources. The financial implications are massive here, as the Rams seek to maintain a competitive window while simultaneously accounting for the rising costs of their core stars. From a tactical standpoint, the departure of a player who understands the nuances of the Rams system creates a void that cannot simply be filled by a newcomer. You have to consider the locker room chemistry and the institutional knowledge that walks out the door with a veteran who has been through the highest levels of competition. Analysts often talk about the importance of continuity, and when you lose a piece of your championship core, there is a natural ripple effect. The team is now tasked with finding younger, perhaps more cost-effective talent, but the learning curve in this specific scheme is notoriously steep. We are observing a front office that is clearly looking to reset certain positions to ensure they have the flexibility to make moves elsewhere. It is a balancing act that defines the current era of the franchise. The coaching staff now has to adjust their situational packages, particularly on third downs, where that veteran presence was once a primary asset. While the fans might feel the sting of this loss, the internal logic is purely rooted in asset management and long-term roster health. It is a cold, calculated move, but one that is necessary in the modern NFL, where the cap is king. The team is not just losing a player, they are losing a piece of their history, and that is a transition that requires significant adjustment for both the coaching staff and the remaining players. We are keeping a close watch on how the locker room responds to these shifting dynamics in the coming weeks. But that is not the only situation developing right now, as the team has been busy on the other side of the ball as well.
If you are following these roster updates as closely as I am, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We are committed to bringing you the deepest analysis on every Rams move. The Rams have not been sitting idle while the rest of the league makes their moves. In a direct pivot from the departures we just discussed, the front office has executed a high-impact signing, bringing in a former Lions playmaker who is widely regarded as an absolute ace on the field. Les Snead continues to demonstrate his willingness to be aggressive when he spots a scheme fit that he believes can elevate the defense. This particular acquisition is fascinating because it reflects the team's specific need for versatility. In the current iteration of the Rams defense, you need players who can play multiple spots and handle different assignments without missing a beat. This newcomer fits that description perfectly, bringing a tenacity that was a hallmark of his time in Detroit. From a scouting perspective, this player brings a unique blend of speed and instinctual play that is going to be a massive asset for the defensive coordinator. When you look at how the team plans to deploy him, it is clear that they want to create more chaos in the backfield and improve their ability to generate turnovers. The financial structure of this contract also suggests that the team views this as a cornerstone move rather than just a depth piece. By securing talent that has proven production in high-pressure situations, the Rams are attempting to insulate themselves against the volatility that often plagues teams undergoing significant roster turnover. The expectation is that he will immediately step into a prominent role, potentially changing the way opposing offensive coordinators approach the Rams' front seven. We have seen this strategy work before, where an underrated addition in free agency becomes a breakout star under the guidance of this coaching staff. The historical context here is vital. The Rams have a track record of identifying talent that fits their philosophy, even if it is not the biggest name on the market. It is about the why behind the move, and the why here is clear. They need production, they need experience, and they need a spark plug to lead the defensive unit. For the fans, this represents a much-needed injection of energy after seeing veterans leave. It shows that the organization is not satisfied with standing pat. The coaching staff is likely already working on specific packages to maximize this player's skill set, looking for ways to exploit matchups that were previously unfavorable. This is a classic case of a team doubling down on their identity while trying to solve the gaps that emerged during the previous campaign.
We are talking about a player who understands the grind, and that mentality is exactly what is needed in the locker room right now. As we continue to track how the roster takes shape, it is clear that the front office is working with a very specific vision for the next season.
The news cycle keeps churning, and we have a significant update involving the secondary. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN has confirmed that Roger McCreary, who was a part of the Rams roster last year, has signed a one-year deal with the Detroit Lions. Roger McCreary, who famously joined the Rams through a trade last season, was a player many expected to see compete for a starting job this summer. This move is a reminder of how quickly the depth chart can change, especially at the cornerback position, where consistency is at such a premium. When we look back at the trade that brought him to Los Angeles, there was a lot of optimism about his potential to grow within the system. However, the business of football is fluid, and players often find themselves in situations where they need to seek out new opportunities to maximize their career trajectory. For the Rams, losing Roger McCreary means they are now in a position where they need to look at their internal development or potentially dip back into the market to shore up their depth. The secondary is already a focal point for the coaching staff, as they are trying to bridge the gap between their veteran starters and the younger prospects who are waiting in the wings. Analysis of the current depth chart suggests that this will put even more pressure on the remaining cornerbacks to step up during the upcoming organized team activities. It is a tough blow for the defensive backfield, which thrives on having versatile options available to counter modern passing attacks. We have to wonder how the defensive coordinator will adjust the rotation now that Roger McCreary is off the roster. Historically, the Rams have been excellent at finding value in the later rounds of the draft or through under-the-radar acquisitions to plug these holes, so it is not time to panic, but it is certainly a narrative to watch. The team is now facing a situation where they have to rely on newer faces to provide reliable snaps in high-leverage situations. It is the type of move that defines the grind of the offseason, where front offices are constantly re-evaluating the value of every single roster spot. As we track the aftermath of this departure, we will be looking closely at how the team manages the compensation for his loss. The competitive nature of the NFC West means that the Rams cannot afford to have any weaknesses in their pass defense, and the departure of a player with his experience level is something that must be addressed immediately. It highlights the importance of the draft and the urgency that the personnel department must feel to ensure the secondary is not just functional, but dominant. We will keep you updated on any further moves as the team continues to refine their roster for the challenges ahead.
It has been an incredibly busy couple of days for the Rams. We have seen a mix of departures and new energy entering the building, all while the front office tries to balance the long-term vision under Sean McVay. Losing players like Roger McCreary is never part of the ideal plan, but it is the reality of a league that is constantly evolving. The question now is whether the new additions can provide the necessary impact to keep this team in contention. What do you think about these roster moves? Should the team have fought harder to keep their veterans, or is this the right time to pivot to talent? Let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.